When you've spent a lifetime watching porn, jerking off to porn, it can be difficult to become aroused without porn. And in fact, this can go to extremes. Welcome, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can manifest your ideal life. Make sure you get my free ejaculation control course through the link in the video description below. If you want to learn more about sexual mastery, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified when I release new videos and go live. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the issue of basically requiring porn to become aroused. And this is something that a lot of men have asked me about, as they're going through my program, training in sexual kung fu, or they're just in general learning the practices of becoming multi-orgasmic, learning to have non-ejaculatory orgasms, learning to develop a deeper relationship with their sexual energy, and going beyond just having an ejaculatory release of tension type experience during sex or self-pleasure. And so this is very, very normal. And I think just framing this a bit in the context of, for men, learning to have non-ejaculatory orgasms, learning to circulate sexual energy through your body, learning to have a much more satisfying experience of sex, much more pleasure, deeper orgasm, and overcoming premature ejaculation requires self-training. It's really important that you take some time to get to know your own body through self-pleasure, to know your arousal response, and to start to learn how to redirect this energy to be expressed in other ways than just an ejaculatory orgasm. But a problem that a lot of men run into, and I certainly ran into this in my early days of learning these practices, is that when you've spent a lifetime watching porn, jerking off to porn, it can be difficult to become aroused without porn. And in fact, this can go to extremes where men in relationships have been watching porn and they can't actually become erect during sex with their partners because it's not as stimulating as porn. And first of all, it's important to understand this just from a physiological perspective. What's happening is when you're watching porn, you're overloading the dopamine receptors of the brain. Porn is more addictive than opiates because you're getting this massive high, all this dopamine's being released video after video, and it causes a very unnatural level of stimulation in the brain, which means that when you go back to your normal life, it seems very boring. When you're having a normal sexual experience with another human, it seems relatively boring to your brain compared to porn. And so what happens is your arousal response doesn't seem to be working properly. Some people call this porn-induced erectile dysfunction. And so first of all, it's important that you start to step away from porn, remove this from your life. I think that you will find every single aspect of your life improves when you stop watching porn. And so now I want to dive more into how do you start to kind of rewire your sexual experience to where you don't feel aroused when you're not watching porn, but you're trying to connect with your sexual energy. I know it can be kind of a frustrating thing for men who are experiencing this. And again, I went through this myself. But I think it's important to understand here is that first of all, it's a process of really reconnecting with yourself, reconnecting with your body. Porn causes a very disconnected experience of pleasure and sex. It's very visually oriented. It pulls all of your awareness up into your head. You're like projecting your energy out at this image. And it really disconnects you from what's actually happening within your body. And it just overstimulates your system. To come back into your body without all this external visual stimulation may seem initially boring in some ways, or you may feel this tendency to disconnect from what's happening in the moment. A lot of people aren't comfortable really being embodied, really occupying the space of their bodies because there's traumas, there's blockages, there's, self-judgments around themselves or shame from the past. So this is a very healing process of simply coming back into yourself, reconnecting with your body. And so, for example, if you're trying to practice self-pleasure to learn sexual kung fu and you find that without porn, just nothing's happening, don't worry too much about it initially. First of all, there's this process of, again, your brain and your body rewiring to a normal sexual experience. It will get better with time. But understand as well that the goal of these practices, practicing self-pleasure, the goal isn't necessarily to be rock hard, maximum arousal, and just have these powerful, mind-blowing orgasms. I mean, yes, that is, it's something to aspire to for sure, but don't feel like if that's not happening, then you're failing. The thing is it's a process. To get to that point, you first of all have to simply be aware of your body, to be able to breathe, to relax. And even if you don't feel aroused or sexually stimulated by that initially, it's fine. You're beginning this process of coming back into yourself, having a normal human experience of touch. Recreate those neural pathways in your brain and in your nervous system so that normal sensual pleasure can be pleasurable again without all the excessive stimulation of porn. So what I encourage you to do is to change your viewpoint of what you think fulfilling sexual pleasure looks like, because that's very skewed for a lot of people. What I encourage you to do is get a mirror and practice loving yourself, touching yourself in a massage type fashion, just touching your body, feeling your body, looking at your body in the mirror, and expressing self-love, saying, I love my body, I love physical touch, and I deserve to feel pleasure. And simply reconnecting with that space within yourself. And again, this may bring up a lot of self-judgment, shame, and vulnerability. And that's a good sign that you're starting to kind of go into these deeper layers that a lot of people are not comfortable going into. This is one of the major turning points of the journey of your own sexual healing. So I encourage you to set aside 15 to 20 minutes or more, at least 2 to 3 times a week, if this is something you're struggling with, to connect with yourself. And again, the goal of this should not be that you're going to be massively aroused, super horny, having mind-blowing orgasms. The goal should simply be to reconnect with your body without all this visual stimulation, so you can actually feel what's happening within yourself, feel how you're breathing, feel where you're tensing up, notice where your mind is going, and start to develop a more organic feeling connection with yourself. And this is one of the most important foundations of eventually experiencing mind-blowing cosmic orgasmic states, right? But you have to start somewhere, and that starting somewhere is simply reconnecting with your body, touching yourself without worrying about how aroused you are if it's not as exciting as porn, and understand that over time that is going to create a deep and intimate relationship with your own sexual energy, which when you share that with another person is incredibly powerful and very healing. Thank you for watching this. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to go deeper into this work of sexual kung fu, learning to rewire your body and mind and your arousal response to a much more pleasurable and expansive experience of sex, check out my new course, Male Sexual Mastery. I'll put more information in the description of this video. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and let me know in the comments below what was your biggest takeaway from this video. Have a great day, my friends.